श्रीगुरून् वैष्णवांश्च श्रीरूपं साग्रजातं सहगण रघुनाथान्वितं तं सजीवं साद्वैतं सावधूतं परिजनसहितं श्रीकृष्णचैतन्यदेवं श्रीराधाकृष्णपादान् सहगण ललिता श्रीविशाखान्वितांश्च हे कृष्णा करुणा सिंधो दीनबंधो जगत्पते गोपेश गोपिका कांत राधा कांत नमोस्तुते तप्त कांचन गौरांगी राधे वृंदावनेश्वरी वृषभानुसुते देवी प्रणमामि हरे प्रिये नमो महावदान्याय कृष्णा प्रेम प्रदायिने कृष्णाय कृष्णा चैतन्य नाम्ने गौरत्विषे नमः पञ्चतत्त्वात्मकं कृष्णं भक्तरूपस्वरूपकं भक्तावतारं भक्ताख्यं नमामि भक्तशक्तिकं श्रीकृष्ण चैतन्य प्रभु नित्यानंदा श्री अद्वैत गदाधर शिवासदि गौरभक्तवृंद हरे कृष्णा 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 हरे 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 राम 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 हरे हरे जन्माद्यस्य यतोऽन्वयादितरतः चार्थे सुभिज्यस्वराट् तेने ब्रह्महृदायादिकवये मुह्यन्ति यत्सूरयः तेजो वारिमृदां यथा विनिमयो यत्र त्रिसर्गो मृषा धाम्ना स्वेन सदा निरस्तकुहकं सत्यं परं धीमहि नारायणं नमस्कृत्य नरं चैव नरोत्तमं देवीं सरस्वतीं व्यासं ततो जयमुदीरयेत् स्वस्ति अस्तु विश्वस्य खलः प्रसीदतां ध्यायन्तु भूतानि शिवं मिथो धिया मनश्च भद्रं भजतादधोक्षजे आवेश्यतां नो मतिरप्यहेतुकी Reading from Śrīmad-Bhāgavatam, Canto 10, Chapter 20, verse number 11. Sri Sukdev Goswami is describing the rainy season after describing Krishna's activity in the summer in the previous chapter. So in this chapter there is only just description of the season. He must be also feeling hot when rain came. He just got absorbed in rain, but he doesn't speak any Leela in this chapter. But it's very educative because, as we saw in the previous verses, there are many similes which have some instructions inside them. So he was talking about the clouds and rains and thundering, lightning, and the ponds and the lakes which were dry, and the rivers, and the small rivers overflowing with Patagaminya. So now he says, Harita Haribhi Shashpair Indra Gopais Chalohita Uchillindra Krita Chaya Nirnam Shri Riva Bhura Bhut So the earth, Bhu, Abhut, the earth became decorated with beauty, which is described here. The whole surface of earth was green, Haritabhu, and Shashpai Haribhi. So there were soft green grass, and there were this Indragopa, this is a type of insect which is actually very nice in looking. It's like very soft, like velvet, the skin, and reddish in color. Very small one, it walks on the ground. It's called Indragopa, and it comes only in the rainy season. And then Uchilindra Kritachaya, and there are in the rain we also get a lot of these mushrooms.
Magic mushrooms.
Not the magic ones, the non-magic one, which are more like an umbrella, not that round one, but you have seen the small one which have like an umbrella on top. That is called Uchilindra. So Uchilindra Krit Chaya Ninam Shririva Bhurabhut. So it was like as if the beauty of a king going with his army, green, red color, and these umbrellas. Yes. So that's how it appeared. So Haribhir Nilvarnai, Haribhi means here bluish color, Shaspai Komalai, Shaspa means soft grass. Kvachin Nilvarna Indragopair Arunvarna Kit Visheshai. So this Indragopa is a special type of insect which is pinkish in color. Kvachit Lohita, sometimes reddish. Uchilindrai Chhatrakarai Udbhijai. Uchilindra, umbrella shaped, these small, what you call, plants. Krita Chaya, Krita Shvet Kanti, and they are white in color, so they appeared like king or his royal people with umbrellas. So Nirnam Rajyam Sri Sena Sampat. So it was like the beauty of the army of the king. Haritadi Varna Patageha Yukta Iyam Ragyam Upadeya. So it was this green color is compared to like the, sometimes in the olden days the queens will walk, so there will be ladies around holding cloth. That is called cloth house. So Patageha, because they are not to be seen by everybody. So like these days you have mobile houses. So that was sort of mobile house. The queen is inside walking, the house also walks along. So there may be 20 ladies around holding the cloth, and she is moving, the house also moving. So it's like a tent, moving tent. So Yam Ragyam Upadeya, the Similes for the kings. Kshetrani Shasya Sampadbhi Karshakānām Mudam Daduhu Maninām Anupāpam Vai Daivadhinam Ajanatam. And the fields, they were full of crops, beautiful wealth of crops, and gave pleasure to the farmers. But those who were proud, who did not want to do farming, they felt remorseful. They repented, why we did not do it. So Daivadhinam Ajanatam. So they do not know that this is under the control of Deva. So they think that it's not good for us to do it, or it's below our status to do farming. So in India previously, the many upper class people, they will have land, but they will not plow the land themselves, because to hold the plow is considered as something low class. So they will engage, even if they are walking with it, but they will not touch it. For that they will hire somebody. So that is what he says, Maninam. So Maninam iti krishim nikrishtam karma vayam pratishtita na kurmahe iti garvavatam. So Maninam means who are proud. Why? He says that this farming is a low class profession and we are established, honorable people, so we will not do this. So this is feeling of many people who think that they are superior and some job is inferior. But actually it is the person who is high or low, not the job. If a high person does a lower job, that also becomes high. In Jagannath Yatra, the king comes and he sleeps, right? So no one thinks that he is doing low job. So he is praised for that. Krishna, he drove the chariot of Arjuna. So chariot driving is considered as low job, but Krishna is driving, so he became Parthasarthi. Became famous as Parthasarthi. So it is up to you. If some job is considered as low, it is because people who are low, they are doing it. If a person of high status does it, the job will also become of high status. So therefore they think that farming is low. Otherwise Balram is having plow, right? So he is a farmer. It's called Haladhara. So but that is the sign of farming. Krishna is tending cows. So they don't think it is low. So anutapam, what is their regret? He says, hanta hanta, yadi krishim vayamapi karishyama, tada etadrishi shasya sampada prapsyama, iti pasyatapam. So they thought, alas, alas, if we had also done farming, then we would have also got this kind of wealth which these farmers are having now. So now they are feeling envious and repenting. So pasyatapam dadur manibhyeva tirtha. So this dadu can apply karshakanam mudam dadu or maninam anutapam dadu. Goes both ways. Dehli Deepak Nyaya. Putting the lamp on the threshold gives light both sides. So therefore he is applying here pasyatapam dadur manibhyeva tirtha. Yato yadanutapadikam Daivadhinam tena jananti ityartha. So they do not know that this regret or moroseness, it is under the control of the fate. Yatha nivritti karma paran brahmalokam gacchato drishtva pravritti karma paraha swargastha anutapanti iti gamyopma bhaktairheya. So here he says that this simile indicates that those people who are not attached to material activities, who do not want to perform actions to enjoy some material benefit, but work for their spiritual goal, so they go to Brahmaloka, they go to spiritual world, and when they go to the spiritual world, they have to cross through the heaven. So when they go over the heaven and heavenly people who has gone there by performing sakam karma, some action to get the result, then they lament. He says, we are stuck here, we should have also gone, look, they are going. So the Swargastha, the people of heaven, devas, who are pravritti karmapara, who engaged in sakam activities, so anutapanti ti gamya upma bhaktairheya. He says, but this type of upma is not for devotees because they are not interested in kamya karma. Jalasthala aksa sarve navavari niveshaya abhibhran ruchiram rupam yatha hari nishevaya. So all the residents of water or land, aquatics, they all got beautiful appearance because of water. Because if water is available, water is life, then everyone gets life from that. They shine, the aquatics, they feel happy, nice water is available, clean. In the summer it dries out, it becomes dirty. So now all the fish and turtles, snakes, water snakes, they are all relishing. And those who are on the land, the trees, etc., human beings. So they all appeared very attractive, ruchiram rupam. Yatha hari nishevaya, just like devotees who become beautiful by performing service to Sri Hari. So abhibhran, abhibharu. Anybody remembers this? We did this just 2 classes ago. Briya amicha, hang mango, narasya rama, briya amicha. Why it became abhibhran? So you have bri. It is a dadi.
Brie?
Dhatu. This is Sanskrit.
Like a French cheese.
And then bri. And Ramasya Rama is not applicable here. But hango mango, narasya irama, briyamicha. So it becomes iram. Otherwise it should have become ababhram. Ababhran. And see Narayan Veti bhyo anus. And Isantasya Govinda anusi. So it should be abhibharu. See, Vishwanath Chakravarti Thakur knows grammar. Otherwise you see abhibhran and you say, yeah, it's fine because you have forms like that, you know. But for Vridhatu it is abhibharu. So he noticed it and he writes that it should be abhibharu, not abhibhran. Yatha iti hari sevayam pravritta api sadyeva sarve ruchira bhavanti tasyaha parama dharmatvat parama sukhdatvat cha tadvat iti upadaya. So he says that just the residents of water, residents of land, all the living beings, everyone appeared happy and beautiful. Just as by doing service to Hari, one becomes happy. Why? Because this is the Param Dharma of the Jiva. The highest Dharma, there is also other Dharmas are there, Varnashram Dharma. But Savai Punso Paro Dharma Yato Bhakti Adhokshaje Ahetukiya Prete Hata. Yatma samprasidati. So this param dharma, that is the Bhagavad dharma, that is what is described in Bhāgavatam. Dharma projeta kaito atra paramo nirmatsaranam. So by engaging in this param dharma, one becomes param sukhi, supremely happy, and appears very attractive. So therefore he says, Sadyeva sarve ruchira bhavanti. So immediately they become happy and beautiful. But you have to do it. So this is true. Because bhakti is happiness. It is Antaranga Shakti of Bhagavan. And real happiness is only in Antaranga Shakti, not in Bahiranga Shakti. Bahiranga Shakti is miserable. So, yahi sparsja bhoga, dukhyone evate. So all these bhogas, these vishayas, they are miserable. They are the source of suffering. And happiness is only antaranga. So anta sukha, antar jyoti, antar arama. So this is what comes from bhakti, by doing service to Hari. So like that the earth, so he says this upma is acceptable by all, not only by devotees, but by every living being, because the swarupa of Jiva, the purpose of living being is to do service to Bhagavan. Saridbhi sangata sindhus chukshobha swasnor miman apakya yogi naschittam kamaktam guna yoga yatha. So when the rain comes, the rivers become full of water, and then the rivers move towards the ocean. So then the ocean also have big waves in it. So he says that it is just like if there is a yogi who is not very advanced and he sees some sense objects, then his chitta becomes agitated. There are waves of agitation in the heart of a yogi who is unable to control the mind. So guna yoga yatha, being influenced by the gunas of Prakriti or by his own senses, he becomes disturbed. So like that the ocean also has heavy waves because of the rivers flowing into it. So actually it does not happen to ocean but only to the river. The word Sindhu also refers to the Sindhu river, which flows from the Himalayas, goes through Pakistan now. Because the ocean does not become disturbed by the river flowing into it. This sloka in Bhagavad Gita, I think it is the second last. How does it start? I forget the first
Give us
part.
the second line. Give us the second line.
Pravisanti kama samudrape pravisanti yadvat, something. Yam kama pravisanti apuryamana achalam. Yeah, apuryamana achalam. So samudravapa pravisanti yadvat. So apuryamana, the ocean is always full and the rivers enter into it. The ocean does not become disturbed by that. So that would be a simile of a yogi who is perfected, yoganistha. But he is talking about apakva yogi. He is not perfected yogi. So then you have to take the meaning as we will see in the commentary. Then the word Sindhu here refers to the river Sindhu. Because Sindhu river is a big river, and then other rivers enter into it, then it starts flooded with that. Swapuryamanam achalam pratishtam. So ocean is achala, it's not disturbed. So yogi's, perfected yogi's mind is like that. But this is speaking about the imperfect yogi.
So the word apakva here is immature. But in Khan Bengali they drop the V, so it becomes paka, pakka, like this. This is the same word. Paka, pakva becomes pakka.
In Hindi also.
Hindi also.
So therefore Vishwanath Chakravarti, he comments on the word Sindhu. He says Sindhu Nadi Vishesha, Paschatya. He says it's a river, flows to the west, in the west part of India. Because at that time Pakistan was also India. When he was writing the commentary. So that is, but the word Sindhu also means ocean. So Visheshan Ganasya Punstvam Arsha. He says all these adjectives here, they are all masculine gender. So that has to be taken as Arsha, because if it is a river is feminine. Kamaktam Kamavasna Yuktam iti. So the word Kamaktam means one who is full of material desires. Iti Swasnormi Samyam. So therefore there is a similarity that the yogi's mind is agitated and the river is having big waves in it. Because the vasanas, the desires which appear in the mind, they are also compared to waves. So in yoga, the chitta is compared to river. If you study Yoga Sutra commentary, then they compare the heart or chitta, yoga chitta vritti nirodha, in the commentary of that sutra, they compare chitta to a river which flows in two directions. One is internal, another is external. So all the vrittis are going outside, so that is the waves flowing from the river to outside. And the yoga means you want to change the direction to internal. So gunair vishair, the guna here means the sense objects. So the senses becomes disturbed by that. Iti sarit sangati samyam iti gayam. So therefore the simile has similarity of yogi, immature yogi, coming in contact with sense objects, and the small rivers entering into the big river, meeting with the big river. That is the simile here. Girayo varsa dharabhir hanyamana vivyathu abhibhuyamana vyasnair yathadhokshaja chetasaha. So now he is giving another simile of a devotee who is fixed in devotion to Krishna, and therefore his mind is not agitated by the sense objects. So he says that just like mountains, so heavy rain falls on them, but that does not do anything to the mountains. So he says, Greyo Varsudhara Bhir Hanyamanan Vivyathu. So they are not troubled by the heavy rainfall on them. Of course, sometimes there are landslides in the mountains also. But the solid mountain, nothing happens. So Vivyathu also, you see here that Samprasharan, Sankarshan, Narasya Sankarshana, which is Swapiya Jadina. So Abhibhuyamana Vyasnair Yatha Dhoksha Chetsa. Just like the mind of a person which is fixed on a dhokshaja, then he is not troubled, he is not disturbed. So by the sense objects. So even if the sense objects appear, then he is not troubled by that. So Visher Nabhi Bhuyate. Praya Pragalbhaya Bhaktya Visher Nabhi Bhuyate. Krishna speaking to Uddhava that by the strength of my bhakti, the devotee is not overpowered by the sense objects. They may come, but he remains staunch, fixed like the mountain. So na vivyathur na vivyathire. So ire will come here because this must be Atmanepadi dhatu. So pratyut raja adi apgamad shobhanta eva ityartha. Rather what happens is that by the rain, the mountains, if there was some dust on the stones, then they get washed and they become more beautiful. The trees, plants, some dust gets deposited on them, but in the rainy season they get washed away, and after the rain they appear very nice, shiny. So like that means a devotee, if some problem comes, then he becomes more strong. By that, he is not overpowered. Vyasnair adhyatmikadibhis tapair adhokshaja chetasatvad eva navyathante. So the three types of troubles which come, adhyatmik, adi bhautik, adi daivik. So because his mind is fixed on Krishna, then he is not troubled by any of these things. Because if our mind is already engaged in something, then it is not available for other things. We only have one mind. So if mind is fixed, then sense objects have no possibility to disturb the mind. Like the story is there in Chaitanya Charitamrita, Haridas Thakur. So Maya came to disturb him. So he said, you sit down, I have still my rounds to chant. So she has to wait. So he kept on chanting and she kept on waiting. So finally she said, okay, I heard my name, I'm going now. So she left. So this is because the adhokshaja chetasa, because his mind was fixed on name of Krishna. So then even Maya could not disturb, not to speak of any products of Maya. So that is the simile of mountain here. So tapanti vividhastapa naitan madgata chetasha iti bhagavadukti. So this is a statement spoken by Kapila Bhagavan. He says that my devotee whose mind is fixed on me, the various types of problems come to him, but he is not disturbed by them. And that is because the mind is fixed on me. So madguna sruti matrena mai sarva guhase manogatira vichinna yatha gangam samudam. So because the mind is flowing towards Krishna continuously, all the vrittis of the mind are moving towards Krishna, then there is no possibility of it going somewhere else. It has this direction fixed. Pratyut danya vridhya garva asuyadi malinya rahita eva bhavanti iti sadbhirupadaya. Rather, what happens if some problems, some difficulties come, then devotee becomes more humble because he prays more intensely. And then, if he had any impurities in the heart, such as pride, etc., or finding fault in others, so he becomes free from that. So therefore the difficulties purify him and thus give him strength. In case of one who is not advanced, immature, he becomes distracted by that. But that was also for the yogi. For devotee even that will not happen. Because dhanoti sarvam hridhi sannivishta. In case of bhakta, God, Krishna personally helps. For yogis and jnanis, they have to struggle themselves. So Krishna himself says that devotees, if he faces any problem, vikarma yachapatitam kathanchit. If some vikarma comes to him, then dhanoti sarvam hridhi sannivishta. So Krishna himself clears that. And this is how devotee advances. This is how his anartha nivritti happens. So all these problems come to others only. So therefore in the simile, in the sloka itself, here he says adhokshaja chetasa, means he is a devotee. And the previous sloka says apakva yogi. So there he was talking about yogi, he talks about bhakta. Marga babhuvu sandigdha trinaischanna hi sanskrita nabhasyamana shrutiyo dvijay kalena chahataha. And then the paths, they became unclear because the grass and trees and plants which are all around, like in the forest area, so they grow and they cover the path, and then you can get lost. Where does this go from here? It is not unclear. So it says marga babhu sandigdha. So the path becomes unclear. Trinais channa here sanskrita, because it becomes covered by grass. You don't see it. Where is the mark for walking? Also the trees, branches grow. Previously, I don't know now, but this road from Vrindavan to Radhakund, in the rainy season from both sides these kikar, plants, they will grow so much and there will be very little space to go. And then village people come and cut them because they use it for cooking. So every year, because they grow so much just in 2-3 months. In the rain comes, they grow like anything. So that's why it says marga bhubhu sandhigdha. And then he says it is just like the Shrutis, the Vedas, if they are not practiced by the Brahmanas or the Brahmacharis, then they get forgotten. People forget. If you don't practice, then after some time you forget the sloka. Apuriyamana machal pratishtam, you cannot forget, you cannot remember it, right? So this is what he says, nabhyasyamana, not practiced. Then dvijay kalena, in due course of time, you forget whether it is this word or that word. It is abhibran or abhibharu. This sutra. So it needs practice. So nabhyasyamana iti asanskrita samyam. So just like the path which has not been cleared, because after the rainy season then you have to clear the path. So not practicing is just like not clearing the path. They are same. Kalahata iti trinachhadan samyam. And being overpowered by time is just like the grass covering the ground. Ateva margaha shrutyascha sandigdha iti batubhir jaya. Therefore both the path as well as the Vedic mantras, they become covered. So path becomes covered by grass, by plants, trees, etc. And the Vedic mantras become covered by some other things, so I don't remember them. So I say this simile is useful for the brahmacharis who are trying to memorize the Vedas. So they have to practice regularly. Abhyasena tu kaunte. You have to do abhyasa.
The Tibetans with the word heya here seems like it's saying it's unfit for the young brahmanas.
I have Gaya, you have here?
I have heya.
Okay.
Oh, yeah, I see.
So-
Different reading. Okay, that's right.
Well, if it is here means then they should give up not practicing. And if it is Gaya, then it means they should understand. I don't know, I have Gaya, if you have Gaya, then you have to apply it differently. लोकबन्धुषु मेघेषु विद्युतश्चल सौहृदः स्थैर्यं न चक्रु कामिन्ये पुरुषेषु गुणेषु इव. So he says that the clouds which are friendly with people means they are liked by people. Clouds come after the summer, people feel so happy. Peacocks start singing their song. So therefore they are called Loka Bandhusu. But in the clouds there is the flickering lightning which comes, goes, unstable. Right? So he says it just like there are good people and then there are some women of loose character. So Kaminya, Varavanita in Sanskrit they are called Varavanita or prostitutes. So they come but they are just like a lightning, gone. So better be careful with them. So clouds are compared to people of good character and lightning is compared to women of ill character because their friendship is not stable. So Vidditas Chala Saurida. Lightning is called here as Chala Saurida, means their Sruhitva, their friendship is Chala, not Achala. Friendship is moving. It does not stay. Today one person, whoever can give better money, and another day another person. So that is Kaminya. Women of loose character or whatever you call. Here they are called just Kaminya. So Yatha Kaminya Punschalya. So in Sanskrit there are many words. One is called Punschali. So Punschali means who moves from one Purusha to another Purusha. Pun means Purusha. So moves from one man to another man. That is called Punschali. So, gunishu purusheshu vedagdhyadi gunvatsu api iti heya eva. So, even if the person is of good characters, he would not be stable because he is not looking after good characters, he is looking for money. So, she will move. So, therefore, it should be given up. One should know this. So, that is the simile here. So, just as the lightning does not stay with the cloud, right? It comes and goes. Now here, then after some time you see the lightning in another place, after some time in another place. It's not that lightning is always in the same cloud. So it keeps on changing the clouds like that. These ladies also keep on changing the men. So dhanurviyati mahendram nirgunam cha guninyabhat vyakte gunvyati kare gunvan purusho yatha. So now he says that when the rainy season, sometimes you also see this rainbow. So that is called dhanurviyati, rainbow in the sky. And this is a rainbow belonging to Indra, because Indra is supposed to be the god of rain. Right? Indra is called Parjanya Deva or Deva. He is the god of rain. So therefore is called here Mahindra Dhanu. Means this rainbow belongs to Indra. So it comes in the sky, and the characteristic of rainbow is that it does not have the string. Right? So it is a bow without string. So therefore it is called Nirguna. So guna means also gunas, sattva, rajas, tamas. Guna also means a string. That's why they say that string has got 3 strands and those are sattva, rajas and tamas. So that's why it is called. So guna has got, so nirguna means no guna, no rope. So this is a bow without any rope.
No strings attached.
But it appears in the sky which has got guna. So what is the guna of Akasha? Shabda. So here guna means quality. So the sky has got quality, guna of Shabda guna. Shabda guna kam Akasham, Tark Sangra, right? Remember that is the defining characteristic of Akasha is Shabda guna. And in that Akasha appears rainbow which has got no guna. So gunless, no rope. So it's just like Bhagavan, who has no guna. Bhagavan is gunatit, right? But then he appears here in the material world which has gunas. So he is beyond the 3 gunas, but he appears in the material world. So vyakta gun vyati kare agunvan purusho yatha. So like that the rainbow appears. So nirgunam jyarahitam. So nirgunam means without the rope. And gunini garjita shabdavati. And gunini means the sky in which clouds are making sound. So that is the guna. So vyakte prapanche, and similarly Bhagavan appears in the material world. Gun vyatikaratmake, which is manifestation of the gunas. Right? Sattva, rajas, tamas, prakriti is there, then mahatattva, then ahankara, then this whole material world comes. And in that Bhagavan who is agunvan maya guntita purusho Bhagavan bhati. So he appears here. So vivid lila bhiriti bhakta rupade. And he performs his various pastimes here in the material world, although he himself is beyond all gunas. So that is the simile he is giving. So poets make all types of imaginations. Just with the cloud, he made so many similes. So nararajo rupaschanna स्वज्योतिष्णा अर्जितैर्धनैः अहम्मत्या भासितया स्वभासा पुरुषो यथा. So here now he says that the sky has got clouds in it, and beyond the cloud is the moon. So moon becomes color, although moon has got his light, moon is visible without clouds, but now it becomes covered by the clouds. So Nararaja Udupa means moon. So moon did not shine. Why? Channaha Swajotsna Arjitai Ghanai. Being covered by clouds. So whose light was covered by the clouds. Swajotsna Arajitai Ghanai. So in the same way, the living being, he has got his own light, but then he becomes covered by his own avidya. Ahammatya bhashitaya svabhasa purushoyata. And this ahankara or avidya is also enlightened by him only. Just like the clouds are enlightened by the light of the moon, and yet they cover the light of the moon. Because the moon is that side, cloud is here, you can still see the clouds. If there is no light at all, you won't see the clouds at night. But some light is coming, so you see the clouds, but you don't see the moon. So in the same way, the body, which is manifestation of the material elements, which are inert and no consciousness in them, but they are infused with the consciousness of the Atma, and they are covering the Atma itself. So then you don't see the Atma, you don't see the soul, and you only see the body, like you only see the clouds and not the moon. All the seeing of the moon, clouds happens by the light of the moon. So in the same way, the functioning of the body is happening by the consciousness of the Atma, but you don't know the Atma. It's a nice simile. So Udupa is Chandra, Udupa is moon. Swajotsna rajitair ghanair tusarmayai kuhedikakhyai meghi channa. So his light or glow is covered by the foggy clouds. Achannatva bhaveyapi achannattvena pratito nararaja. So he says that truly speaking, he is not covered by the clouds. It's only with our vision which is covered by the clouds. If you go beyond the clouds, he is not covered. It's not that the clouds are around the moon and covering it, but still it appears as if covered and thus not being seen. So similarly he says Swabhasa Swiya Gunmaya Chavi Rupaya Ahammatya Avidya Swashaktya Kidrisha Bhasitaya Sveneva Prakashitaya Purusha Parameshwaro Yatha Ghanachanna Drishtir Ghanchanna Markam Tivat Channatvena Pratita Ityartha Jnani Bhiraya Mukhadeya. So here, instead of taking the meaning of the Purusha as the individual living being, he is taking the meaning as Brahman. He is applying it more for the Advaita Vedantis. Because Advaita Vedantis, they say that Brahman becomes conditioned by Maya, and then Maya is actually not independent of the Brahman, it functions by the Shakti of Brahman only, and then creates so many things in this material world, and yet Brahman remains covered by the same Maya which is being supported. Because what is the adhisthana of Maya? Maya is Brahman. Right? We studied that in Vedanta Paribhasha. So that's what he's doing. So he says Swabhasa Swaya Gunmaya Chavirupa Ahammatya Avidya. So Swabhasa means that by its own glow, which means that its light in the form of the three gunas, which are Avidya. So Swashaktya, then it is covering the Brahman. Kidrisha bhasitaya svenaiva prakashitaya. And then this avidya is being empowered by the Brahman only. Because avidya does not have independent stance. Avidya cannot exist without Brahman. So, Parmeshwara yatha ghanchanna drishtir ghanchanna markam itivat. This ghanchanna drishti, ghanchanna marka, this is a famous sloka from Panchadashi of Vidyaranya Swami. So it says that ghanachanna drishti, that your vision is covered by the ghana means cloud, and ghanachanna markam, but it appears as if the sun is covered. When actually it is only your vision which is covered. Brahman is not covered by Maya, but our vision is covered by Maya, but it looks like the Brahman is covered by Maya. So Ghanachanna Drishti, Ghanachanna Markam itivat, Channatvena Pratiti. So it appears, it's only a pratiti, it's only an appearance that Brahman is covered by Maya. Truly it is not covered. So Jnani Bhirayam Upadaya, this simile is useful for the Jnanis. So I'll stop here if there is any question to ask.
Babaji Maharaj. So I just want to understand a little when you were giving the simile of person who's fixed on, whose senses are fixed on Krishna, who's achala like the mountain, and then even when problems come, so then he gave an explanation that during problems he becomes more humble. So can you please elaborate on this? Like if the situation is a little tough or circumstances are tough, so you got to be determined or become humble?
Both. Just like Prahlad Maharaj faced so many difficulties, or the Pandavas faced difficulty. So they were determined and also were humble. They were humbled, isn't it? They
so
became
the circumstances will humble you.
Yes. Circumstances will humble you, because then you realize that you are not strong by yourself, so you pray more, you become more devoted to God. That's the meaning of humility. If the problem is not there, then you tend to forget. When problems come, you remember more. That's why Kunti Devi was praying, Vipada Santu na Shashvat Tatra Tatra Jagat Guru, that please send us more problems. Because when problems are there, we have your darshan. She was having darshan directly, but a devotee has darshan in the form of remembrance. If some difficulty comes, if you are a devotee, you will remember Krishna or not? If everything is going nice, then there is a tendency to forget. Because when problem comes, whom will you remember? It's like if a child has a problem, then whom does he remember? He remembers the mother. Because he is under the shelter, he is dependent on the mother or the father. If he is in the street and some elder boy bullies him, then he runs to the mother. So devotee is also like that. He has surrendered to Krishna, so when problem comes, he runs to him for protection. Anything else? Hmm?
Babaji?
Late reaction?
Yes, because I'm quite shy still, so I always take time before I finish.
Okay.
It's just again about the comparison with the lusty women and faithful to the virtuous men.
Say it again.
Is
Yes, your voice is not clear.
Is it about shloka with a comparison with lusty women?
Hmm.
Is it a shloka for brahmachari students so that they can remain fixed on their sadhana? And once again, women is for prakriti and virtuous men for purusha. So cloud is like for, let's say, the purusha or Bhagavan who is well-wishing to everyone. And so we should be careful about our desire, which are like kind of lightning coming all of a sudden and going from here and there, and we should control or focus on the clouds.
Yeah, so you can also apply it for the woman herself. That she should also become steady instead of running here and there. Because it says Guninu Purusheshu, that even she goes to a person who is qualified, still she is not stable. Chala Sohrida, the friendship is unstable. So it can also apply to them that they should make stable friendship and be with one person. Anything else?